Okay, today is July the 6th, and I spent yesterday making some changes out here with my cactus and studying up on them. First of all, if there's any realtors watching this, you'll notice that my deck needs power washing. I know a couple of power washers and maybe one deck stainer guy, but they're not getting back with me. Well, the power washers, that's another story, but the deck staining guy, I haven't heard from him because of COVID. I would like to at least power wash it because it's unsightly to my eyes. So that's my dog, Kennedy. Say hello. She's having a rough summer. She's got another torn cruciated ligament, so she doesn't get to walk much. So she kind of likes to sit out here with the cactus. She has been known to, investigate these as when I set them under the awning when it rains too hard for them. And I've discovered that some of these things are poisonous. So I'm going to get started with my video. This is my husband's coleus. He did water it yesterday. He's been watering it every other day. I believe he has mealy bugs. He's got holes in his leaves. You can get rid of holes and get rid of mealy bugs by mixing water and something like Dawn dish detergent together in equal parts, and that will usually get rid of your mealybugs. And that works for the cactus too, or like alcohol and water on the cactus. Just use a brush to paint it on if you think you might have mealybugs. Mealybugs are a big issue. These are my plant clippings that I propagated yesterday. I had an unsightly cactus I was talking about yesterday, so I went ahead and bit the bullet and did the propagation cuts. I'll be putting these in the same pot, I think, in about 3 days when they callus over. I probably should have gloves on, but you'll see they need to callus over on this end here where I cut them, and then they'll be put down like that. This is the unsightly one. I think I might still try and save it. I hate to let anything die. I may cut off that ugly top. I don't know what happened to it, but it was part of this same plant here, and so I cut it off. Same thing with this one here. I propagated it several days ago, waiting for it to also kind of clear up. So this one I showed you yesterday. It's off of the same plant, the baby Rita, which is edible, by the way. And I think it's taken root. You can just kind of wiggle it. If it has any resistance at all, it's getting roots. So I think it's rooted. It takes anywhere from like 10 days to 2 or 3 months to these guys to root. Now, this is the African milkweed. Looks like the dog has gone inside. It's her breakfast time. This is the African milkweed. At some point, it's going to have to be transplanted into 3 different pots. It came as one big clump when I bought it at the garden center. I've discovered that African milkweed is poisonous, but also can be eaten. The natives ate it. It has to be well cooked before you eat it. The sap that grows inside of them is poisonous. It has latex in it. And so when you propagate them, you need to make sure you rinse off the cutting and make sure you wear gloves and you don't, touch your eyes or your mouth or anything, because it does contain latex, which I am allergic to. And I found this out after I messed with them. The last couple times I've had to go in and I felt like itchy, and I went in and had to shower and wash up. So be careful, use clean gloves, and keep away from your children and your grandchildren. But these are supposed to make nice hedgerows. I don't really suggest you use them as food unless you're out in the desert. But I put a rock in there yesterday to kind of hold them up. These get really tall. Really tall. And so you might have to have 2 people if you ever want to propagate them into another pot. But these are 3 separate ones. I don't know what I'm going to do with them for now. I got too many cactus out here, and they really need to be in 3 separate pots. So I don't know what I'm going to do about that. I have to think about that for a while. That's an empty pot that I'm going to use to transplant these guys into. Now this is called a San Pedro. The one in the middle is. The ones with the bumps all over them, similar type but different. It's a cousin to the San Pedro. It's a San Pedro Montrose, or monstrose, like monster. It's called that because it grows these little bumps all over it. And this is edible, but it's also a hallucinatory plant. It is illegal to have it or to grow it unless you're doing it for ornamental purposes. They call it the journey that you can get. It's considered a holy plant in the Andes, and you go on spiritual journeys. I imagine it's something like maybe smoking pot. I don't know. Anyway, apparently it's illegal in the United States. Um, I'm not sure if this is the one that grows. I believe this grows wild in the highways of California, and you can, you know, get poisoned while you're sitting in a traffic jam. So anyway, that's that plant. It's real interesting. You might want to look it up. San Pedro cactus, and they're all very tall like that. Hiding over here behind it is the bunny, which is a cousin to the baby Rita that you saw the cuttings. It's a bunny ear cactus or a mouse ear cactus, and it grows to be about, oh, not very big, maybe 6 inches tall. Likes a lot of sun, so it needs to be out of the pot with the others here, because I found out that these San Pedros they like sun but not direct sunlight. Same thing with the African milkweed over there. So I moved them into a kind of sunny shade thing. And then the cuttings that I showed you over here, you'll notice they're in a shadier area. You're supposed to keep your cuttings in a shadier area. And, a little water when you first put them in there, but not too much. And then wait until they root, and then just start doing your regular watering with those. Now this is the mother-in-law's cushion I talked about yesterday. I've done some research. It's also edible. It grows flowers in the middle, and it looks like it's trying to. I've had this for a couple years now. Never seen it flower yet. I found the Cactus Gardening Club, and I'm going to maybe join them. But this it's called a golden barrel cactus, or a mother-in-law's cushion, and they are an endangered species by men, of course, and also by animals who eat them. It's not toxic. The flowers and the fruit can be eaten if you're lost in the desert. It doesn't have to be special prepared or anything like the aloe vera plant and or the milkweed. They can be eaten, but they need to be specially prepared. This little plant here, the one I was talking about, they make tea out of it. I guess that's the main thing. They drink the tea after they make their, to go on their spiritual journey with the plant. And then this is back to this. These have pretty yellow flowers. The flowers are edible. The fruit is edible too, but not as tasty as the flowers, apparently. And this is an endangered species. It takes it about 20 years to get their full growth. I have one baby one. I tried to do a little bunny transplant, and I'm not sure that the bunny transplant's taken. You know what? I think it's taken hold. So I have 5 of these baby golden barrel, or endangered species cactus. It'll take about 20 years. I'll probably be dead by the time these guys get to their mature growth, and they like a lot of sun. Here's the aloe vera plant. Everybody knows what that does. It's edible. You can find it in the grocery store. You can make tea out of it, shakes out of it. I wouldn't recommend trying to do it with your home plant because it is poisonous to some extent. It has to be cooked properly, so buy it at the grocery store if you want to eat it. But it is good for burns and such. But it also has latex, so when you're messing with these plants, make sure you wear gloves, wash your hands, don't touch your eyes and mouth, keep it away from your children. Here's another bunny ear. It's a baby one. I just started it. My bunny ear one, and another golden barrel. Go back inside. Go back.